YouTube subscribers and friends and the like, it's Grant coming at you from Phoenix, Arizona, northern Phoenix. It's been a long time. It's been 2 or 3 weeks at least since I've done a video, and I apologize. I was just busy before, now not being busy. The situation with Worldwide kind of blew up. I got tired of waiting, every other weekend or so they'd leave me hanging, waiting for the weekend. And then told me I'm a independent contractor, so when I ever finish a trip, that's just on me to have it finished, and then wait for another one, or go to the company as I wait or whatever. And I just got tired of being strung along on non-CDL. That company is great for CDL workers, but I think if you don't have a CDL, they're a bit restricted on what work they can find you. And then on top of that, my driving foot, I'm starting to develop what's called driving foot from doing that all the time on the pedal. And it finally got so bad it went from the middle of the bottom of the foot to the whole entire foot to the ankle, and now it's clear up to the knee. And when I got to the knee, it scared me into thinking whatever this is progressing all the way up. So between the combination of the two, I kind of mutually quit and partially got fired from Worldwide because I took a Chevy Tahoe and took a little bit of a tour of New York, Vermont, and Massachusetts, a section of those states that I haven't been to, just to do it basically. But I took the Tahoe door dashing over the weekend after arriving to the pickup or the drop-off point in Queensbury, New York. Because again, they ditched me on Friday afternoon with nothing to do until Monday when the dispatch opens up again. And I, between my foot and everything else, I just gave up and said this is going to probably be my last trip. I don't care. I'm going to go do DoorDash because I can DoorDash for the vehicle and make money. And that's what I did. I had a friend of mine along for that portion of the trip, and so we DoorDashed together and took turns being the guy delivering the food and the guy driving, and then basically bought our hotel stays over the night. We'd come up with 100, 120, 140 bucks, I think it was, every day to eat. So we had 40 bucks to eat between the two of us, and then the $100 or so for the hotel stay all weekend long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I dropped the Tahoe off in the morning on Monday. I apologize for all the loud noise. I'm in Arizona, and all the motorcycles and all the crotch rockets around here, they all believe in noise. They should have a noise ordinance thing, I think, because they've got emissions and everything else on their car to register them. But no noise, especially on motorcycles. I could see why they got noise on motorcycles like you're hearing there, because you can't see them coming. And so, at the very least, you can hear them coming. But anyway, I'm in the back of a shopping center. Walmart is right over there. And the other stuff's over there, and I will switch this back in just 1 second. So, that being said, I'm back to the good old cardboard and bag life. I have a storage that's down there in Scottsdale, which is, I can't remember, 8 miles away from here or something like that. You can get to it by bus. And I just decided to come back to Phoenix. This was after a week of hell in John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City. Because after mutually agreeing to go my separate ways with Worldwide, pretty much, the dispatchers didn't want to work with me anymore, but Doug, the president of Worldwide, wanted me to stay on. Of course, he's trying to save the driver, so he has one more driver for more work that they get paid to do. But I told him I can't deal with the dispatchers anymore. Between the two of them, I just can't work with them. So I quit and got fired, basically, because they didn't want to work with me either. So it's like a mutual agreement between me and dispatch. But anyway, Worldwide itself is a pretty good company for CDL. Independent contractors. Non-CDL, you better be signed on with a different company, because they can keep you busy for a little while, but then it's off and on, and then they keep you busy for a little while, and then it's off and on. I just got tired of the waiting around on the weekends, because I'd just get ahead, and then between paying for hotel stays and everything, what I gotta do on foot for the weekend, it would eat the money that I made. And I do what I gotta do to keep myself in a room over the weekend, when I was doing it in the cold, because especially when you're in the winter states, I'm not gonna go freeze ass on a cardboard thing like this in the winter states. If I got the money to do, to spend on a hotel room every night. And so, but the good news was this last 2.5 month run with Worldwide, I was in a hotel room for almost every single day of it. I was probably, I think I counted 40 No, it was 4 nights. It was 56 nights or something like that in a hotel room, which was nice. And it was a waste of money, but at the same time, it was nice to see a bunch of different types of hotel rooms. But then I just kind of got tired of that too. And then, like I say, my driver's foot is the other main reason why I quit, because whatever that was spreading clear to my knee, now, after a couple weeks of not driving, has started to get better. But for a while, it was scaring me into thinking I'm going to have problems walking for the rest of my life. And, and health issue wise, I'd much rather deal with my own health than risk my health on some other kind of job. No job's worth your health, because I have the rest of my life to live, versus that job could go for a year or 2 or 6 months or who knows what. So I just decided to get out of it, because I think my driving for hire days are over. And the other reason, all the traveling that I've done, I kind of feel like I've been everywhere in the U.S. except for, well, because I have been to every state in the U.S. except for Alaska, and then I probably need to see a little more of Maine. But mostly it's Alaska, because I have been in Maine. I just haven't seen the northern part because it's hard to get to by the roads. But anyway, I feel like I need a shift, a change, something new, because I've been doing that for a couple of years now. Don't know for sure what yet to do. This is the cardboard life. Living homeless on the street, so to speak, is not the life I want to do either. But at the moment, I'm down here in Phoenix because when I left Worldwide, they gave me enough money to get myself and my buddy, who had gone with me to do the chase car thing. He'd run the rental car to chase me around with the truck for a couple weeks there. And in exchange for doing that, I made sure he got back to Orlando, Florida, where he wanted to go. And between that and myself, we were able to get 2 cheap tickets, but we ended up having to stay at John F. Kennedy Airport in New York City for a week. And I had to sleep in a chair at the airport for a week, because they won't let you lay down on the floor. It's just stupid rules. They have a safe harbor thing where you can be there for a month if you have to, because of the cold temperatures. But they make you sit in a chair instead of sleep on the floor. It's just stupid. But I guess for their cameras, so that it looks better on the cameras. Anyway, did that for the week, and it was like a week of hell, waiting on the cheap airline ticket because we couldn't get everything changed after we bought it. It was a good idea. It sounded like in the beginning, because we're like, oh, we'll just wait, from this Wednesday to that Wednesday will be way cheaper, and it was. It was $100 a piece instead of $350 or $400 a piece, which I didn't have. My last paycheck was $700. I could have spent a little bit more toward the airplane tickets, and I probably should have, to avoid the seat problem and bag problems that we had later. But anyway, did that for the week, and I flew back to Phoenix because my storage is down here. Put everything that I own in storage, and then I just have that 40-liter with me right now. It's got a couple Eddie Bauer coats in it, so I can dress up if I need to go loiter in hotel lobbies, which I could do now, but I guess I get tired of people looking at you funny. I'd much rather be on a piece of cardboard by myself during a day like this, in an area that's not being used. Just for my own public privacy, so to speak. As much as privacy as you can get in public. But just hanging out during the day, and then I find various different places to go sleep at night, so you do or don't have to be outside, depending on the weather. But weather-wise, if it was outside, 70 degrees during the day, and then about a 50-degree low this month, I think, give or take, on the average. For Arizona isn't bad for Phoenix. And that's precisely why I put my stuff in storage here before I went back to transporting. This was always plan B. If I ever quit transporting, because I've been having this driver's foot problem for 3-4 months now, so I knew potentially this was coming. I mean, my only other choice would be to get on painkillers all the time, to drive on painkillers and caffeine. And when it comes to that point, when I know you're making your own body permanently damaged for the rest of your life, it's not worth it. So I had to get out of it. I can't do it anymore. My mind, I could do 350 miles a day, no problems. I could do up to 6 hours, 6 hours is 350 miles, give or take. I could do up to that 10-hour thing in 600 miles a day back in the day if my foot didn't hurt. And then starting to get overweight and everything else, it's just a bad idea to be in that truck driving type of job anymore. It's just, there's too much health related issues. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm considering maybe going back to work for one of the national parks, or going up to Alaska this summer to ride Alaska off while working for a national park up there. I haven't looked at it yet. I'm also considering going back home to Nebraska, or going up to Miles City I would love to return to Miles City and work there, but the other problem is I've been spoiled by all the traveling around and knowing for a fact that I could go to Florida on Christmas Day and it'd be 80 degrees outside on Christmas Day instead of having the snowy, white, cold Christmas that you'd have in Miles City. And Miles City being a four-season state, that's my only drawback to going back there. That, and when I worked there, I only wanted to work at Walmart or some hotels or PTI, which I don't want to work with PTI anymore. This is the first time they didn't pay well enough. The second time when it started to pay well enough, it's on 24, not 20. It was like on call pay. They paid you $150 a night, I think it was. It was really good money, whether you worked or not. That was a nice add-on for PTI. But that's the other problem, is I don't know if I can go back to working for somebody after having on and off did this expediting and transporting for 4 years. I don't know if I can go back to working for somebody after being self-employed. You kind of get spoiled there too. So I'm spoiled on the weather, the temperature, and I'm spoiled on working for somebody else. In between the two, I don't know if I'd last. I mean, as long as the atmosphere was fine and I was okay with my boss, I might last for a couple months. But the minute something tipped off and the boss had a power trip, I'd just be like, bye-bye. You know, because I know there's better opportunities out there. I'm too spoiled now, and I know too much. I'm not as sheltered as I used to be. And the same thing goes to weather. For weather, I could go to Miles City, and I would love to do so, but the scraping the car windshield off so you can drive, the shoveling the snow off the sidewalk, the trying not to fall on your ass on the driveway, the trying not to drive in, slide into somebody on the roads because they're crappy roads. In the wintertime, I want to avoid all that. I don't even know the word to speak for it, but the wintertime in Miles City, I just don't want to do it. And I know they've had mild winters, and that's not bad, but I would love for some way to find a job that I could work 6 months out of the year in Phoenix like a snowbird. Not necessarily Phoenix, but, somewhere warm. And then 6 months out of the year be in Miles City. And I think I would do that if I won the lottery. That's probably the way to live my life for the rest of my life. I would definitely come down here for the winter and go back up to Miles City on the summers. But so far I've not been able to find something like that, and part of me will always love traveling, and that paid retirement was beautiful. The last 4 years of literally paid retirement. I'm so happy I did it. Beyond words happy that I did it now when I can do it. And I encourage you all to go out there and do it now while you're able to do it. Don't wait around until you're 60 or 65 years old and then expect that you're going to be able to enjoy it as much. You're going to spend the majority of your time trying to probably get around on a cane or crutches, because age-wise you get older, or you'll get dementia and not know where you're at anyway by that point. And I truly believe if you want to go and travel out and experience what other people experience in this world, especially the U.S., go do it now while you can. Don't wait until retirement. Don't fall into that trap of working someplace 20 or 40 years, living on that pension, which would be great to have that pension, but try and do a job that you can have that pension at the end and still be young enough, like 55 at least, by the time you go and do it or something. Don't wait around until you're too old to do anything. But anyway, getting off a subject, my traveling days, I'm about 50-50 on whether I want to keep traveling around and doing national parks and doing stuff. I'd love to do it for the new experience of doing it. Maybe a national park in Alaska or something. Non-driving job. But there's also something to be said about hanging around with friends and being a regular at a bar or regular at the grocery store or wherever you walk in and everybody, I wouldn't say everybody knows your name, but a lot of people, you walk by and you could say hi to them and you're regular and you know them and they know you, and I'm missing that kind of relationship, being out here by myself doing nothing, talking to a video camera. I'm missing out on building those relationships, those friends, your actual romantic relationships and so on. But at the same time, I don't know if I can stay in one place for long enough to do it. Because of this, it's like I have finally realized I have a weird addiction to traveling. Once you start doing it, it's hard not to. But at the same time, I don't want to do it driving anymore. My foot doesn't want to do it driving anymore, I should say. I would love to do it driving, but my foot doesn't. And then, like I say, I'm getting out of weight, out of shape. Bad idea to do that trucking life for that long a period of time. At least for me anyway. My genetics not proving to be the best thing in the world. I'm thinking about being more athletic in terms of this kind of life right here, which I'm doing at the moment. At least it forces me to walk around everywhere, because you can stick around someplace for a couple hours and then somebody comes out the door and says you can't be here anymore, because anywhere you go you're pretty much trespassing in public spaces. Anywhere you go. So I spend my day all night loitering in other people's places, because you know, if you're not paying for the service, say if you're not renting a hotel room or whatever, you're essentially loitering everywhere you go for hours on end. I was just over at the Walmart for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours there on my phone, essentially loitering out in their smoke shack thingy that for their employees. Nobody seemed to care, but I'm just saying, you know, anywhere you go, that's an example right there. Or sitting back here by myself, I'm technically loitering in this shopping center, but what else do I do? You know, you look at what else you can do. I don't have the money to go spend at a coffee shop for a coffee every 20 minutes to make myself a legitimate customer all day long. I mean, if I won the lottery or something, I could do that, and then you technically are not loitering if you're holding up to their 20-minute, you know, per customer thingy or something. But so I'm forced, but the subject I was saying is I'm forced to be on the move. All of us out here on the street are forced to just be continuously on the move, unless you go hide in the woods someplace where they can't find you, where you find a spot like this. The stores behind me are open, but until somebody comes out there or drives by and says I can't be here or whatever. I saw a security guy go by a couple times now, and he didn't seem to care either which way. He smiled and waved, like, letting you know I'm here and letting me know you're there, you know. Didn't seem to care, didn't stop or nothing, didn't point like that I gotta leave or nothing. So I don't know, I'm just gonna stay till I'm told not to. And anyway, well, for a little while, for a couple hours. But anyway, I just thought I'd make the video because I haven't been on here in a while. I'm hoping it uploads, because here pretty soon, depending on how my life goes, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have phone service. Not sure what all is gonna happen for sure, because I don't know. I'm still looking into what to do, but I'm not decided on what to do for sure, because basically I have a couple months to kill now, because I have the same problem of it being February, and I got February, March, and April before I can leave being south of the snow belt. And so now I could go to New Mexico or Texas or anywhere, you know, south of what is essentially the snow belt. But like Texas gets colder than here does and everything, so I'm better off just staying here or possibly going to California. But the problem with California on foot is I either pay for the bus ticket or I hitchhike that desert, which I've done, but I wouldn't recommend hitchhiking the desert. I mean, you can do it, but I just, not with, if I was in better shape, maybe. But I did it once, and once was enough kind of thing. On hitchhiking, I could take a bus ticket, make the money to go take a bus ticket, but then you're in California, which is kind of like, you know, temperature-wise is like Arizona, but it's different. So anyway, I'm just gonna float around here, Phoenix for a little while. Might consider Tucson or Yuma. I don't know yet for sure what to do, but I basically got 2.5 more months to kill before I could go north into the snow belt when the snow is finally done in May. In May, June, July, and August, I'll either go to Shatter, Nebraska, Rapid City, South Dakota, Spearfish, South Dakota, Gillette, Wyoming, there's an option there, or Miles City, Montana, or I might consider going up to Anchorage, Alaska, just for something new. That's the only option of those 5 that's new. I mean, I've been through Gillette, Wyoming 2 or 3 times, and I could go stay with a friend of mine there. But she has a kid, and I don't know if I want to go down that route either. I don't know, I'm deciding. Because that'll be your classic household where you both work your ass off to take care of the kid and whatnot, and I'd be fine with that. I just don't know if that's for sure the type of life I want yet or not, because once you're glued in there, so to speak, you know. She wants somebody who's obviously stable, going to stay there, and I've never been that type. Especially with being spoiled. But these are my random thoughts, and I just wanted to throw it out there. 20-minute video here, I better get it uploaded, hopefully. I just wanted to do an update and let you know what's going on. I quit transporting, and it's not just worldwide, it's the fact of my foot. You know, I could consider going back to Quality or Bennett. RV Transport has been hitting me up a lot lately, because Bennett is the bigger parent company of Synergy, and since I work for Synergy, now I've made it past the 6 months or the year requirement that they want to get in there. Now they're sending me emails all the time to come work for them, because that was Synergy's way of saying Synergy couldn't put me back on because of that rear end accident thing that I had with that Class A. Accidentally backed it into a gravel hill and screwed the rear end up, so they won't let me back on there at Synergy, but they basically referred me to Bennett because they both work together. So Bennett's been hitting me up a lot, and I thought about doing that, but again, it goes back to my health. At the end of the day, I don't want to suffer the rest of my life because I decided to drive a few thousand miles more. And I wouldn't might save up and buy a camper van style, you know, go buy a cheap van and go throw a bed in it and live in that. And I might do that, but that requires a little bit of, you know, drive time too. And I'm not saying I don't want to ever drive again, because I do, and I'd be fine with doing it for personal reasons. You know, you go 100 miles here or there or whatever is not going to affect my foot that bad because it's, you know, an hour of your day. It's not professional driving for hire. That's hours and hours and hours on your foot. That's what's getting to it, not regular 9 to 5 commuting kind of stuff. It's the hours that I put on these muscles. But anyway, I thought I'd give you an update as to why I did what I did. And between my health problems and not getting along with the dispatchers and everything, I decided it's time. You know, I was trying to get through Worldwide until May, and then I realized it's my especially when that pain went all the way in my knee. I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna go all the way up my leg and then the rest of my body, or what's going on. You know, so I had to quit. It wasn't worth the risk. I don't want to be on a cane or not be able to walk. So you just have to finally realize your limitations sometimes in the different things you do in life, and then decide that something is or isn't right for you. And I decided, you know, that regardless of the timing, it wasn't right for me. So unfortunately, I'm stuck here, basically just drifting around Phoenix area for a while, trying to decide what to do and killing time until May. I might make a few other videos on maybe homeless tips and stuff like that in the future, since I'm doing more of the homeless around the streets on foot type of life for the next, probably at least next month. Considering possibility, maybe, I don't know, I better be in better shape before I do it, but I was thinking about doing the freight train hopping thing. Problem with that, potentially, is the jail time, if you know, because it's trespassing like anything else is. You could get up to a $5,000 fine and up to 30 days in jail someplace. And potentially that could screw up your driver's license, and that was the main reason I never did it, or I only did 2 times a long time ago before I thought about it. But I've never done it since then, is because I didn't want to screw up my my driver's license, because that would lead to not being able to drive for work. But now that I'm not driving for work, and I've decided that part of my life is over, the drive for hire life, now I don't really have anything to lose in terms of freight train hopping, and everything to gain in terms of experience. Just for the experience of it. Because now, jail, to me, like any other homeless guy, jail is 3 hots and a cot, so to speak, for however many days they want to keep you in there, especially in bad weather winter states like Chicago, Illinois, or New York City. At this time of year, jail is a welcome vacation for people like me who have nothing to lose anyway. Yeah, it's not a punishment at the point when you don't have anything. Jail is considered, is the idea behind jail is the inconvenience that the longer and longer you're there, the more and more it's going to ruin your life. Well, if you have nothing left to lose, or nothing left to ruin, you know, I'm not a $400,000 in debt slave that has a house and a car and a job. First thing to go would be your job if you don't get to work, if you don't get to work because you're in jail, obviously. And then, of course, if they find out whatever you went to jail for was violent, blah, blah, blah. But the first thing to go would be that's your job. Probably next thing to go would be your wife or your girlfriend. Next thing to go would be not be able to see your kids because your wife or girlfriend left. And then there goes the house, there goes the cars. And the longer and longer you sit in jail or prison or whatever, the more and more inconvenient it becomes. But if you don't have anything but a backpack, I have about 6 backpacks, but in the long scheme thing, you know, long run of things, I would not want to lose my stuff, but at the same time, I have very little to lose compared to somebody else. I could just very easily start back over buying whatever clothes I need and go if I did go to jail. So I'm considering doing the hobo shoestring thing, you know, and hitting the road on the tracks and seeing where the trains go and when and where and why, and maybe doing some hitchhiking and stuff like that when I get a little better shape. Right now, this next month, I'm just gonna drift around Phoenix and walk a little bit here and there and try to get myself in better shape. I'm gonna take less meals, smaller portions of meals, and then at the same time walk more. And I'll have trying to make longer distance between eating, because if you go 16 hours of not eating, then your body starts to burn its own fat, to digest its own fat to keep you alive. But you got to go at least 16 hours, at least I found out in the health things that I was looking up. And that's a good thing to go by. So I've been trying to get down to about 1 meal a day, give or take. I've been eating at about between 5 and 6 o'clock at night, and then I have a snack at midnight just to put something in my stomach to be able to sleep. But other than that, midnight to 6 o'clock in the, not the morning, but the following afternoon, which is way more than 16 hours, is, you know, my routine, you know, and I try not to eat during that time. It's kind of like a fasting, but because I'm trying to lose some weight. The scale, which I think the scale is bloated in Vegas, but the last weight scale I was on said it was like 270. I think I'm more around 250. I think their thing is rigged because it was like a scale to weigh to get all you can eat buffet or some crap in the Vegas Strip. So I'm pretty sure that was based on the fact like a 14-year-old little twig girl got on the scale and it said she was 150 something. You know, that scale was like totally rigged. But anyway, I would say I'm about 250, give or take, and I've got to lose at least 50 to get just healthier, better shape. And I can do it by little because that part of the reason is this foot having to support the weight. This foot is doing everything it can, but I can only go so far. I can only go about 3/4 of a mile, and then I gotta take a break again. I think eventually, with a little more walking and fasting, and of course the weight coming off as you go, I'll be able to get in better shape, and then maybe think about doing stuff like that, a bit more adventurous kind of stuff like that, like going to Alaska or freight train hopping, or going to work at some other national park someplace, or just doing something. I'm thinking national park just because of how seasonal it is, because I know I only got to go there for 2 or 3 months. I could save up for a van or do whatever, and then it's not a year-round employment there, because I think I get bored someplace after 3 months or 6 months. I don't know. But this video's getting pretty long, at 27 minutes it says now, so like and subscribe, leave comments, and I'll catch you in a bit. Peace.